I'm gonna see if I can get this live trading here. It is a simulated account this time though. I broke even on my real account money, and I just want to take this trade possibly here if it goes where I want it to go. I think it's going to go down to this pivot level down here and sweep at the bottom. And before it does though, I think it'll test this pivot level here, so that'll be right at the golden zone level. I'm looking for a trade up in this area here. I don't know if it's going to get there or not, but that is definitely something I'd be willing to do. Let's see what happens here. Trading MGC here in the morning time. It's almost there. It did hit the golden zone. I just kind of want it to go up higher and hit that pivot level too, but I'm not sure if it's going to get that high. Let's see the reaction here in this area. Okay, there it is. Testing.
Order
Sell
filled.
its bid. I'll see if it continues down here. It might stop me out. Hopefully it'll keep going down. It hit the pivot and it hit 62%, so I just hope it keeps going down. There you go. Keep going down. Going to break even. I hope it spikes down. That'd be great.
Order
Okay,
canceled.
I got it. We got it. So that was live. That was real time. That's how I'm trading. So what was the goal here? There was a couple of different ways it could play out. It did get a 1-to-1 off of the 78.6 to the long side, but my trading style is to watch the 1,000 tick. This is the 1,000 tick. Which way is it going? It's going down. So on the 100 tick over here, I'm looking for the setup to take place. Okay, so here's what we did. A lot of times when structure is broken, it goes down and tests. That test area just so happens to be the exact golden zone that the Fibonacci from this pivot here to this low point down here. Now, all we did was try to get a 1-to-1, but we ended up getting a lot more than that, which is great. I put my target down here, and look, it's already would have stopped me out. If I didn't take my profit, it would have stopped me out. So that worked out really, really good. I needed that win because I was really getting hit. I'm actually still red today, but I needed that win for confidence, and I'm so glad. Gosh, I'm glad. Now, the only way I can go long is if the 1,000 tick chart on the left bottom, the bottom left, begins to show signs of changing direction. So it's going to have to get over all the moving averages and close strong, and then we'll look for a 50% pullback and a continuation. That's strong, but it's only coming up to the descending moving averages. It's only coming up to 50%. We'd have to see it prove more than that. And you can see right there, red candle starting to reverse. So I don't like to take the trade, however, if it's closing so strong that the 100 tick chart is now bullish. I want to see it still bearish. When it's bearish and then it comes up, that's the best. When it crosses over and it looks bullish, even though the 1,000 tick chart is still bearish, there's a divergence. The two time charts don't match, and it's best, I've noticed, if you get them to match. You want the 1,000 tick chart to be going in one direction, and you want the 100 tick to be going in the same direction there. And to me, that's a little bit better odds. So what I need to do now, it's gone down so far that the 5-minute chart now has crossed over like this, and price is below all the moving average for the most part. It could bounce, of course, but now we get in the 15-minute looking week and the 5-minute. So I just use that for extra confirmation on which direction to possibly go. So if those are weak, even if the 1,000 tick chart starts to get strong, yes, I'll look for trades, because if I can get the 1,000 tick and the 100 tick to agree, that's what I'm really trading on. But we would have to see, to go short, we're going to have to see this break down and then give us a 50% golden zone to continue down like that. Right now, it's too strong to try to short it on this side. Okay, now we have a breakdown, so now we just need a retracement. We have the 1,000 tick chart bouncing off of its golden zone, 1,000 tick. Now with the 100 tick chart, we're looking for it to give us some kind of setup. And we don't know how far down it's going to go, so we don't know how large this Fibonacci tool is going to need to be stretched out. So we're following it down to kind of figure out, you know, what it might be doing. As soon as it starts to go back up, we'll use that pivot to draw the Fibonacci tool, and we'll look for it to come into the golden zone area up here. One of the keys to this strategy is knowing which pivot level to use. If I use this pivot level up here, it's not going to reach. If I use the consolidation area for the last leg down and bring the here, then it did enter into the golden zone for that particular measure. That's You're going to have to use discernment and intuition and experience to move that Fibonacci tool around from pivot to pivot to kind of get it, and I don't know what to say about that except just practice, practice, practice. Having done it up here, it's still consolidating, so I don't know if it would even have been able to take a trade on this, but moving the Fibonacci tool around to different pivot levels is pretty important to learn how to do. The thing about shorting it right now, gold, is that we're at an all-time high. All-time high day, all-time strong day. It's just reversing and having some correction within the intraday part of it. And that could be very, very, very dangerous to try to short on a day that something's hitting all-time high. So it's very, very tricky and very, very dangerous. In fact, I'm not going to push it. Maybe I'm just being a coward, but I prefer the day chart to be red and not a big strong green all-time high day. So I'm going to wait for these charts to move around and get back bullish before I take any more trades. I'm not going to short anymore. I got fortunate with that last one, and now I'm not going to push my luck. If we get a double bottom down here on the 1,000 tick chart, boom, boom, and it starts to close above all the moving averages with a strong strength, and then we'll start looking for the Fibonacci pullbacks after that kind of move. Well, let's see how this works. Now we have a clear close and direction on the 1,000 tick chart on the bottom left here, going up. Now all we got to do is come over to the 100 tick chart on the bottom right and wait for Fibonacci to fulfill, and if it does, then we'll have an opportunity to take a trade. Now there is some support levels right here that have probably hit Fibonacci's on a different measure. What I mean by that is I'm measuring from this part down here. This little area here is where my bottom and there's my top, but if you use, say, this consolidation area, you're going to get a different golden zone. Let me see what that looks like real quick. So yeah, it would have already hit in those particular golden zones and would have been able to get some trading, 1-to-1 easy. All right, but we're not taking that one. I don't want that to be too close. I'd rather see if it's going to come down to this one down here a little further, right down here in this area. I want to see if I can get some opportunity for a trade down there. So let's see what happens. We can also see that on the 15-minute chart up here and the 5-minute chart over here that they have switched sides as well and are on top of the moving averages and look more bullish now. So this is all looking like a good opportunity. I just needed to come down to the golden zone. It's coming down pretty close. I didn't quite make it though.
Order filled.
I'm going to take it anyway just because it turned green after tapping into it. If it works, it works. If it doesn't, it doesn't. So let's go ahead and zoom in here and see what's going on.
Stop filled.
Stopped out. It's still in the golden zone. I give it a couple tries before I give up. Try it one more time. If it turns green and starts to head back up.
Order filled.
All right, we'll give it one more shot. 2 losses here. I will stop. I won't continue to keep trading it, but I'll give it one more shot here. See if it'll go back up to the highs here.
Stop filled.
All right, it stopped me out. Today is just not a good day. I am having some troubles getting what I need to have done here.
Order filled. Stop filled. Order filled.
Okay, I did take another trade, but I used a different time chart over here. I wanted to see what happened in this golden zone right here on the 1,000 tick chart. It still looks bullish. It's all above the moving averages, so I'm not taking it below. And like I said, you can find different golden zones depending on which pivots that you decide to use. And that's what's tricky about this particular strategy. But let's see what happens here. This will be my last trade. If it fails, I have to turn it off. I have to make myself turn it off if this one doesn't work.
Order canceled.
Okay, we took that positive trade right there. Still red for the day, but we're kind of holding our head above water so it doesn't get too bad. That was my last trade if it didn't work. I know I said that before, but I don't want my losing trade to be bigger than my biggest winning day, so I'm keeping that under control there. But this is the strategy. I got a lot to learn. I've got a lot to time. I saw this move up here and then 50% down in the golden zone, and that's exactly where it finally did work. Like I said, picking the right one, using this pivot here, you'd be surprised how many times these secondary pivots actually are the one you need to use. So you just have to get used to picking your own pivot levels and stuff like that. I've got another Fibonacci strategy where I give it more room. I have a larger risk and I just let price just move around. And sometimes I just love to just set the trade and, because by the time I take 10, 15 trades and I'm down $200, I could have taken one good trade and had my risk to be $200 on one good trade and not have to sit here and worry about it and do all that. So I have both strategies. So you'll see me take trades that have a lot more risk and and a lot less trades. So in this particular trade right here, I am taking a greater risk. And what I'm doing here is I'm using this pivot right here in the 1,000 tick chart, gold. This golden zone right here is where we got in, right down here at the bottom of top 50%. My stop loss is under this pivot right here. Now that's all $200 risk. Okay. Because by the time I take a lot of trades, I end up, if I'm going to have a losing day and I take 20 trades, I'm down $180, $200. And a lot of times I could have just let the thing wiggle around and got a better deal that day. So here we are this is the 200 tick chart right here. Right there's where we got in the golden zone of that area. It tapped it and I just got in as soon as it got long. As soon as it started turning green. Now, if it decides to come down here and do all this business, I'm going to be okay with that. So let's see how this trade turns out. I finally took that profit at 1-to-1 up there, just a tiny bit before it got there at the top, because I just wanted to make sure that I got in down here at the 50% level of this move here. And there was another one right here. So this area right here, and I got in at a really good rate, but what I decided not to do was use the one candle area as a stop loss and go ahead and use this entire pivot level. So if I would have lost this, I'd have been down about 325 for the day, but we hit our target, and so that means we are only down $90 for the day. Still red. I'm not going to trade anymore today. I'm just going to be glad I'm not down more than I am, and that's okay. We've had some good winners. Let's take a look at that so far. Well, it looks like we're only down 90 today. 42 trades. I would have been down 325 had I not won that last trade. My biggest win so far this month was 227, and that would have been a larger loss than my biggest win, and that would have really been terrible. I kept saying I was done trading, so that's a problem I need to work on. But I can see how easy it is to get into this go on tilt. I mean, I've seen professionals do it, and it's something we all got to work on and not let happen. But I'll see you on the next video. Thanks for watching. Click the bell, subscribe, leave a comment, and God bless you guys. Peace. We will close the video down for the day, and I don't mind showing losses. Like I said, I'm not trying to sell anybody anything. I'm just trying to practice this and get a payout. So I'll talk to you on the next video. God bless you. Take care. Peace.